there everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the Switch Report. Today I'm coming at you with a brand new episode talking about 10 underrated games for the Nintendo Switch. And the reason I'm doing this is there's so many games that release on the eShop every single week. Whether you're physical or digital, there's so many that don't have this huge marketing budget and that don't get noticed by a lot of people, or they get drowned on the eShop because there's not a great filter option for the eShop. Like, there's no rating system to tell you this game is better than one another. My goal here is to actually present you guys with some games that I strongly believe are worth your time and worth your money, definitely. Especially because a lot of these games tend to be so cheap now because they weren't selling well that they've gone on sale, but they were worth the initial price of entry. Oh man, they're so good. And it's so frustrating whenever you have such good games that get overlooked. So my goal for this series is to shed some light on games that definitely deserve your attention. With that being said, I'm going to be excluding super rare games and limited run games, because this one is going to be all about physical releases, though I will be doing another series that focuses on digital, and most of the limited run and super rare games tend to be digital releases that don't have a physical release, which is why they're limited run and super rare releases. But with that being said, let's hop into number one, and that one is Tiny Barbarian VX. This is a tough as nails, old school style platformer where you play as a tiny barbarian. Bet you couldn't guess that. What you do is you do some classic platforming and hack and slash, where you actually go through all these different old school levels that are brutally difficult. I mean, there are these eagles in this game, and I swear to God, I just want to wring their necks! This game is really, really awesome. It's got a lot of content. It's got a 2-player mode. You can do it with split Joy-Cons, which is super nice. Though I will say I do prefer a game like this with a D-pad control. The gameplay and platforming on this game is super tight. Like, it feels like you're playing an NES game that was just crafted with pure love. And the game is absolutely ridiculous. You play episodes, which are kind of like, think worlds from Mario, but they all have their kind of own story context to them. And one you may be just killing a dragon, one you may be getting some booze, and then another one you may be saving a princess. There's all these different reasons, and it's just kind of goofy, but it's a lot of fun. Plus, the game is super cheap for a physical release. It's $29.99. That's your price of entry, or I have seen a lot of stores that have put this game on sale for $19.99, which is an incredible price, especially if you're managed to get a physical release that was an early print, because Nicholas, the publisher, actually tends to release versions that will actually have like a manual, and this one in particular also had a loincloth bag that's labeled Tiny Barbarian VX. I don't know if it'll focus in right there. Whatever. Nope, not gonna do it for me. You get a nice little keychain, and some games have variants of keychains, like they had to release Blade Strangers that comes with different keychains because that has a lot of different indie game characters in it as a 2D fighter. That's just extra goodies that you don't see inside of Switch cases. I mean, even games like Super Smash Brothers, which should have had a manual. I mean, it should have had at least a tiny manual that would have been like a quick start guide or like a controller guide for that game. They didn't include one. It was just the cartridge. And it's so cool whenever you see like older style games that will actually come with this, because especially on this one where it looks like an NES manual, it's super cool. And I think when anything for the Nintendo Switch comes with any type of physical extra inside of the case, it's super exciting. I miss getting stuff like that inside of a lot of games. You should definitely check that game out. But let's go ahead and hop into number 2, and that game is Amora EX. So this is a game that was actually released back on the PS3 and Xbox 360 like midway through the life cycle, but literally no one has noticed the game. So they continue to put it out there because the developers know that this game is something special, and it totally is. It's one of my favorite shoot 'em ups, and it's actually done by Grasshopper Manufacture and Digital Reality. It's got awesome boss fights, a super deep political, economic, and just dark story. It's also got some comedy mixed in there, but it does full voice acting, and you have awesome boss fights where you can have like a 12-story train and you'll be going up and taking out different sections of the train to weaken it. It's just super cool. Plus it has a really neat mechanic that you'll be seeing in the video. That is, you actually use time to use as your health, and you can use that in different ways. If I were to have like 100 seconds, then what I could do is I have some excess to spend, because most of these levels don't tend to last longer than about 1.5 minutes, and you do collect time as you kill enemies. You lose time as you get hit, and then you can slow down time, but that will actually make the timer speed up, so you'll actually lose more time, but it may be worth it if you can survive to make it to the end. This game is not super easy. It does present quite a bit of challenge later on. At the beginning, it just tries to get you all settled in, and it is a lot of fun, and it is gorgeous. It's one of the most gorgeous shoot 'em ups that I've ever played in my entire life, and for 20 bucks, I think that you guys should definitely check this game out because it is totally worth it. It did release at 30 physically, but you can find it at most stores now for around 20 because, like I said, these are games that generally aren't selling super well, or they may just be on sale. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and hop right into number 3, which is Yokas Express. This game is super good, and I don't think that you should miss out on this game because I believe that this will end up being a super gem for the Nintendo Switch. It is so crazy, and it may not be for everyone, but you'll see some gameplay right here that'll actually give you an idea of what it's like. I strongly suggest just at least give it a try. I think there's a demo on the eShop, but I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into the explanation of what exactly Yoku is. So Yoku is a kind of Metroidvania platformer that implements pinball as the main form of traversal. And that's a very interesting mechanic, and when you hear it, you think there's no way that works, and it sounds like it would be super frustrating. Which, in honesty, in some parts, it does get a little frustrating. For the most part, the game is amazing, and you never really get frustrated because it feels so good, and it looks so beautiful. It's published by Team 17, and it's done by Villa Gorilla, which I'm not familiar with their games. I believe this may be their first game, but I could be wrong about that. But either way, this game is super fun. It's super long. I think it took me right around 42 hours to beat. And that's mainly because I do like to be kind of a completionist, and this game I never got tired of looking at. It just looks great. It has a great animation style, fantastic characters that are located throughout the world, and it's only $29.99, and I've seen it on sale regularly for $19.99 at places like Best Buy. It is such a good game. Please do yourself a favor. If it looks like you could get into this game, go ahead and check it out because it is definitely worth your time. I promise you. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and hop right in to number 4, Gunvolt Stryker. This is actually a 2-pack called the Gunvolt Stryker pack. And what this does is you get 2 games inside of it. You get a Xur Stryker Gunvolt, and you get a Xur Stryker Gunvolt 2. So, if you've never heard of these games, they are super good. What you pretty much do inside of these is it's a Mega Man style platformer that has a lot of elements from X, like Mega Man X, where you have the dash ability, and the kind of claim to fame for this game is you have this shielding ability that has different elemental effects, and it's super fast paced, and it has some really great writing in the game. It's super fun. It came over from the 3DS. This one also includes the DLC that came out with the game. If you liked Mega Man X at all, pick up this game. I mean, I think this is as close as we'll get to a new Mega Man X game until Capcom decides, you know what, we want to make a new Mega Man X. Definitely check this game out, guys. I've seen this game on sale regularly for $19.99. A lot of these games have dropped to that $20 mark, which I think is a perfect just kind of splurge and grab 3 of them. That way you're getting 3 games for the price of 1. These games have a lot more content than some of these $60 games. Yeah, guys, definitely check this game out if you like 2D platformers, especially in the vein of Mega Man X. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and change it up a little bit, and we're gonna be looking at an RPG based on a comic book. Yeah, it's pretty weird, right? Now this game is Battle Chasers Night War. This is an RPG that is turn-based, and it's a Western RPG, but it's based off of like a JRPG format. And it's got a very, very nice story. It's got great voice acting inside of it, and pretty much the way the game starts is your heroes are going to combat this dark evil force, and then they actually get knocked out of the sky. They get separated from each other. Your job is to regroup and then figure out what happened. As you go along inside of this game, you start off with 2 characters, and then you progress to getting more and more people inside of your party. This game is gorgeous. It is absolutely stunning. The art is actually done by the original makers of the comic book back in the 90s that is actually of the same name. This is a game that shouldn't be missed because, man, I have seen this game for as low as $14.99, and this game has roughly 40 to 50 hours worth of content. It is amazing. It does get hard at some parts. It has these random difficulty spikes, which I have heard has turned some people off. I tended to love it so much that I just kept pushing on. Plus, I love challenge inside of my RPGs. I love it when they just surprise me. Now, if it's like an impossible difficulty spike, that's a whole different story. But this one is just a significant difficulty spike that makes it just a more difficult game all of a sudden, which can turn people off, but for me, I think that's super exciting. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and hop into number 6, and this one is Kota Princess EX. If you like beat 'em ups, check this game out. Just do it. This is another Nicholas published game, and it's got a beautiful, beautiful art style. I mean, it is awesome. It is a 2.5D beat 'em up game where you can play with 2 players simultaneously, and it does split Joy-Con. It was originally released on the 3DS, and it's just a straight up old school 2.5D beat 'em up game that presents a pretty decent little story. It's not super detailed with what it does, but you can be tons of different what they call guardian heroes. I think there's roughly 54. If I remember right, it's been a while since I played it. This game presents some really cool levels, some really nice design, and great music. It has great music. The thing that's also a little more interesting about it is almost like where River City Ransom presented you with some RPG mechanics, this one does the same thing, except for this one will give you multiple lanes to work with in the game as well. You will actually upgrade everything from defense to attack to just tons of stuff to do inside of this game, guys. So if you haven't checked it out, this is another Nicholas game, so I strongly suggest trying to get an early print copy of this game, and that should be easily doable now because this game didn't come out that long ago. It comes with a soundtrack, and it comes with a very nice full color instruction booklet, and it is awesome, guys. This game is usually right at 30 bucks, but if you really like beat 'em ups, there's not a ton of them on the Switch, and this is a really good option for you. Alrighty, guys, and we're just gonna go ahead and hop right into the next one, and that is Cat Quest. This is a very interesting game, and it's pretty perfect. What you do inside of this game is you play as the Night Cat, where you have this just kind of open world hub, and you'll walk around from dungeon to dungeon. You'll go looting and you'll go adventuring, hacking down tons of monsters. You do tons of real-time combat that has combos and spells. The game is pretty straightforward, not a super deep story, just really fun to just kind of chill out, just have a short burst time because the game's not super long. It's roughly 7 hours, which is fine with me because the game is actually dirt cheap. It's $20 brand new, and I really think that you should pick it up. It's got nice little box art there, and it's got a nice little art style to the game too, and it plays smoothly because it's just a 2D game that runs at, I believe, 60 frames a second. It is awesome. Definitely check this game out, guys, if it looks like it's your cup of tea. If not, well, we got some more for you. Banner Saga Trilogy. This is an awesome little game if you love Fire Emblem. This game is made by some ex-BioWare developers, and what you do inside of this game is you make different decisions as you go on this long journey that spans multiple characters. You'll make different decisions, you'll use resources. If you don't use your resources well, people could die, and based on your decisions, you could lose entire groups of. And it's really, really fun. It presents some nice tactics, RPG elements to it, and it's pretty brutal in parts. I mean, it is not a super easy game, especially on the second one. It will get you pretty heated, I promise. But it's a lot of fun, guys. If you really are looking for something that's a bang for your buck kind of deal, and you're looking for something with some meat on its bones, go ahead and check this game out. It goes for $40 new. You can usually pick it up for right around $30. That is awesome. You're getting 3 games for 30 bucks. That's pretty much $10 a piece. So that is an amazing price, and for how much time you'll put inside of this, I guarantee you'll have at least 80 hours, at least. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop to the next game, which if you're a fan of Metroid, you will love this game. This game is awesome, and it's actually made by a guy that worked on Tiger Woods games, believe it or not. And this game is Axiom Verge. You play a scientist that actually ends up getting crushed inside of this experiment, and you end up going into this different world. It's like a virtual dream, afterlife, whatever. Your guy's trying to figure out where he is when he wakes up, but all you hear are these different voices, and you end up following this voice. Now you're gonna go pick up collectibles, you're gonna go get more power-ups, and then you're gonna figure out how you can escape this place or get to this voice that is calling to you. The game presents a lot of really cool challenges. It has some amazing box art, and the game is super long, and like I said, if you like Metroid, it's pretty much the closest thing we've had to a Metroid on the Switch so far, because it is a super good game. I mean, it is super, super beautiful. It has awesome music and great sound design in it for a 16-bit game. With that being said, I mean, look at that inside reversible box art. That is World 1-1 of Mario redone in this game. Plus, what's super cool about this game too, guys, any of the physical versions that you pick up for this game will actually help the developer's son, Thomas Happ. His son has a disability, and a lot of the profit, I believe it's 40% of the profit, actually goes to his son to help him. So it's always great to do great causes for people. Badland Games have been doing a great job supporting this guy, and it is super awesome to see a game like this get a physical release because it's super quality. It was released very early on in the Switch's life cycle, and you can pick this game up for really cheap. There's a physical version that I believe is called the Multiverse Edition, and I've seen it at GameStop numerous times for $20, and it is totally worth that, guys, because it also comes with a documentary and an art book, and it is in this like LucasArts style box, and it is really cool. So definitely check that game out, guys, if it looks like your cup of tea. Alrighty, and with that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and hop into the last game for today, and that is Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous game, and if you ever played Wonder Boy, it's very much based off of those games. It's like a spiritual successor of those, and I believe it actually started Kickstarter as a Wonder Boy game. This game is absolutely stunning. Its art style is all hand done. It's got this nice anime style cutscene that it starts off with. You play a young boy where he is first turned into a pig by his uncle, who is flying on a barrel, going around and turning everyone into different things across the kingdom. And now everyone hates your uncle, but you really want to get down and figure out what is going on, and you want to get everyone changed back to their original forms. What you do is you collect these different orbs. As you're going after the evil uncle, you are able to become different animals. Like you become a snake, a frog, a lion, the pig, and you become one other thing that I'm totally blanking on. It's a dragon. With that being said, there's awesome boss fights that are absolutely stunning yet again. I mean, this game's art style, it is my favorite looking 2D platformer of this generation. It is gorgeous. I love it. I think it's got amazing fluid animation, and you can tell they put some serious love in this game, and all of the animation is hand-drawn. It is amazing, guys. You should definitely check it out just for that. I think there's a demo on the eShop, so definitely try to check that out. This game also comes with some goodies inside of the box. Now, it's a $50 release. You can pick it up for cheaper than that used. It's still totally worth that price. You get a nice full color instruction manual. You also get some nice little stickers. Some little stickers from Monster Boy. Super nice, right? With that being said, guys, this game is super good and you really should check it out. It has great handling, fantastic puzzles that will seriously stump you. It's not the hardest game difficulty-wise as far as like fighting enemies and stuff like that, but it's super nice to be able to sit down and play something that is just this beautiful. Alrighty guys, and I really hope that you enjoyed that look at those games. In the comments down below, go ahead and let me know some games that you'd like me to take a look at in the future, or maybe that you think are underrated yourself, because I'm going to do multiple parts to this series. And like I said, I'm going to be doing both physical and digital. So comment any game down below that you think is underrated, that you haven't heard many people give praise to. So with that being said, guys, I really hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and press that subscribe button because it's free. And because I post videos like this every single Wednesday and Thursday. Alrighty, and you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. Switch Report out.